Yeah. Oh man, so let's go ahead and get started, man. And I love to ask this question to all the wrestlers that we come across, man. And it's always different. But the first question I always ask, man, is when did you fall in love with wrestling?
Okay. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna have to go back for this one. I think I was around 3 years old. Okay, so I took a lot more time. Well, in comparison to my siblings and whatnot, I took a bit more time to learn how to speak. So what helped me speak was wrestling. Now the first match I can remember was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. And
Mm.
I remember seeing a man in pink and black fighting a bigger man in red. And I'm like, I was just like drawn to it. I see it like my dad will watch it and my cousins and my granddad. And around that time, my favorite wrestler is Kevin Nash or Diesel. So I wanted to be 7 foot tall, long brown hair, and had tassels. I found him the coolest ever. So one time we are at the dinner table, and my brother was talking smack about Diesel, his wrestling ability, and I said that that's not true. And then my parents were like, "Oh, he's starting to talk. He's starting to talk. Talk more, kid. Talk more, kid." So that's how I got started.
Okay. You know what? That's a I don't want you to glaze over that because that is something that's beautiful. And I love to hear these stories, man, of how, things like wrestling and food have changed things for people personally. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
fact that you can remember the exact moments that you were able to speak, and it was all because of wrestling, man. That is awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing that with us, brother.
Anytime, brother. No problem.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it, man. How did your family feel when you was thinking about, maybe I might want to give this wrestling thing a try?
Well, to put it blunt, most people in my family thought it was a bad idea. So I was studying electrical engineering, and I was playing basketball, and I was going to transfer from a university over here to Arizona State. Now I had saved up some money working at a part-time job in between classes and whatnot, and um, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in forensic psychology class, and we were learning about the how to profile a criminal. And there's something called the theorem of threat controlled override. And 2.5 hours into our lecture, our teachers is explaining stuff, and my brain is just it's zoned out. I'm like TCO. It's a lot like NWO. So I'm like, I just went off and I completely zoned out. And then somebody next to me is like, "Are you there? Are you there?" I'm like, yeah. It's TCO. So it's like NWO. So I created this whole backstory about TCO, and I forgot what he was talking about. And what happened was I was about to move to Arizona, and I had a certain amount of money saved. So when I went in that class, the guy next to me was telling me about WWE, and I'm like, "Are you a wrestling fan?" He's like, "Yeah." "Are you?" "Yeah." "Do you want to go to a local show?" "Yeah." By the way, I don't know. I don't know this guy. He's just a wrestling fan.
Right.
So we end up going to before even going there, we met up with some of the other guys. We're about I'd say about 20, and we're all talking about stuff that we like when we were kids, and we would talk about NWO and DX and this and that and that and that and this, and then we came up with this elaborate idea to be the reverse NWO. So we would wear all white shirts and paint it in white that glows in the dark TCO because of that class, and we
Mhm.
tour around and just go in all these feds and beat the crap out of everybody, and then it was like a reverse NWO where we were like 19 19 black guys and one white guy. So it was the reason I'm
Oh, y'all was a gang. Yeah,
yeah.
out there
So we're all
terrorists.
white, right? So and then one thing led to another. So I go to a tryout. All the guys say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to a tryout. Yeah, Moose, I'll be with you." I'm the only one that showed up. And after our tryout, I was sitting on a park bench. I'm like, "Yo, bro, I'm a basketball player. I don't know much about wrestling." So I asked my sister what she taught. She was the first person to say, "Moose, you've tried a lot of things up on until this point, and you have a tendency of stopping. You learn to speak because of wrestling. Do it. If you like it, good. If you don't, at least you know that you tried, versus saying, well, what if, one day, one day." I said, all right. So I took that money and I put it down on tuition, and 11 years later.
Oh man. Go ahead, Roosevelt.
Yeah, man. I mean, so you went from forensic science
Yes.
and learning how to profile a criminal to becoming one of the baddest men in wrestling. I don't
You know
know
what?
if
I think that
like,
skill translated.
you gotta
Yeah.
really decipher that. Like, you gotta really break into that. Like, you went from saying, I know how to hide a body.
Yeah.
I know how to figure out what a criminal would be capable of. I know how to become a criminal and to not even get caught of being my criminal activities, to become a professional wrestler where I can do these type of things to you and get away with it because it's all sanctioned of somebody's liability, like insurance.
Genius. Genius. Yeah. Yeah, you can be evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
And see, I would catch on with that because we're family. So
yeah.
as soon as you said it, I was like, yep. Tell us what's that like? Studying forensic science and being able to profile criminals.
Very interesting and very intense. When we first got more information on the field, is like you can call it at 2 a.m. and go to a crime scene. You have to like be able to be alert and point out this and that. They might even pick you up via helicopter. So what I've learned with that was, surprisingly, I never made the parallel, but now that I think about it, I'm very analytical. So I'm always analyzing things like a wrestling match. Our coach, Drew Onyx, he would often say every wrestling match is a crime scene. You got 21 mistakes to clean it up. So I'm like, I'm not the only one.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, it's interesting. Like how people have certain types of triggers, like how in certain audiences would have certain things that they would that you can get them with. Like in Australia or New Zealand, they're very heavily Japanese style influence. So your strikes means more than the grappling aspect. Whereas whereas maybe in the UK is different, or in North America is more show and stand up. If you watch, I'm sure you guys do, but for those who are watching, if you watch MMA, notice when they stay too long on the ground, the referees instructed to tell them to stand up because of the crowd that you're around. And the reason why hockey fights, they stay up. When somebody falls, all right, it's over.